Hi everyone, so I'm finally getting round to filming the Keema Matar recipe using the soya mince that was sent to me by Gothica666. Thank you so much and thank you for your patience. I'm going to flip my camera around now because I'm about to run the washing machine, tumble dryer going. It's going to be very noisy, so I'll film it quietly and I will add my voiceover later. See you in a minute. I'll just preface this recipe by saying, as always, it's only loosely based on a traditional keema matar. I have, of course, adapted this recipe to suit my own needs, and as you'll see, there's loads of speedy vegetables that I've included to make this fit in with how I like to live the Slimming World plan. I'm starting with the Whole Food Earth TVP, or soya mince, that Gothica 666 exceedingly kindly sent to me. Thank you again. And I'll talk you through the spices. I've got 1 teaspoon each of ground fenugreek, cumin, Kashmiri chili, that's a mild chili, garam masala, and ground coriander. I've also got 1 cinnamon stick and half a teaspoon each of fennel seeds, cumin seeds and black onion seeds. And also, I think there were 3 there or maybe 4 dried curry leaves. I've got 200 grams of petit pois, get me, so extra. Normally I would just use frozen peas, but these are the only ones that I had in the freezer. And here's all the speed veg that I'm bulking it out with. I've got 6 large salad tomatoes, 150 grams of chestnut mushrooms, 2 small to medium carrots, they were all I had there, 1 red onion, my go-to crushed garlic and ginger, that's in the squirty tubes. I've got some fresh chilies, 2 green padron chilies and 3 red bird's eye chilies, some tomato puree and a vegetable stock cube, 2 medium courgettes and some fresh coriander. I am going to chop all of these really finely. I think with a keema, it's such a cozy comfort food. Boom, there we go. No, one more time. Boom. There we go. So in my pan, I've got my chilies sliced, my lazy garlic and ginger, and the red onion. And I'm just adding some spray oil today. I'm choosing going forward to Syn my oil. This one is the Morrison's spray vegetable oil, and it is 1 Syn per 10 squirts. You, of course, can choose to use Frylight or another free one. That's your choice. I just want to have some cap on the amount of free foods that I'm having, just for my own peace of mind. Giving that a bit of a stir. I've got it on a medium heat if you saw there, but I'm just going to pop the lid on and let it sweat for a little while, let it saute and soften up that onion and make it go lovely and translucent. Here we go, magic time lapse, lid off, and it's looking absolutely beautiful. The smell just from that with no spices yet was incredible. I did turn the heat up to 6 because I was in a rush. I don't think it affected it too negatively. Here I am just stirring it, checking it's not stuck to the pan. All good, but I might add some boiling water later just to make sure. Here is my grated courgette and carrot. Look how much is there. Wowzers. You can't really tell from the video how large this pan is, but believe me, it's big. I've realised that one-handed doesn't work brilliantly, so I had to do a magic time jump here. And as you can see, I've also added the finely chopped mushrooms. What I'm going to do now is just pop the lid back on. I'm going to go away and leave that just to saute away for 15 minutes or so. So a magic time jump later, again this was around 10 to 15 minutes, and as you can see with me taking the lid off here, it's really started to reduce in volume. All of those veggies are tender, and look, all of that stock coming out of it, that's nearly all veg stock just from the steam and the condensation, as I really didn't use that much oil at all. What I'm doing now is just turning the heat up a little bit more so that I can add my spices to that stock. You do need it to be a slightly higher heat to really activate the spices, I suppose. I'm just pouring those in now, and if you listen you can really start to hear those sizzling away. I cannot express the smell coming from this, the fragrances. My mouth was just watering. It took all of my willpower not to just face plant into it right there and then. 10 out of 10 for me because I managed not to. And in there I just added around 150 mils of boiling water straight from the kettle, and I'm giving all of that a really good stir before I add in my roughly chopped tomatoes. I'll say as well, while I'm giving that a stir, just before I added those spices, I took around about 100 grams of the soya mince and added that to a bowl of hot water to soak somewhat for around 10 to 15 minutes. And I also added the stock cube to that. Like I said, the soya mince is only soya, dried soya, and caramel used for colouring. So it really doesn't have a huge taste of its own, but it does really absorb any flavours that you give it. So I use my stock cube in that boiling water to let my mince soak. And here it is. Doesn't that look, I've drained it here and I've pressed out all the water. Doesn't that look like mince that you've just cooked? I mean, I'm asking that as a question because it's been so long since I've actually cooked mince. But from what I remember, it's a really good substitute. Oh, squeeze my peas. Don't know why I did that twice. Don't know what I was thinking. How are the tomatoes doing? Let's have a look. Yes, look at that. Those tomatoes are almost, but not quite, fully dissolved into that base that I've got there. I'm going to give it... Oh, there's my cinnamon stick. Don't want to lose that. I'm going to give it... I think I gave it another 10 minutes at this point. Again, I like the tomatoes to be almost fully dissolved into the base. Here I'm just adding a really generous squeeze of the tomato puree, again completely free on the Slimming World plan. And in the interest of transparency, I did add about another 200 mils of boiling water straight from the kettle. The tomatoes aren't quite where I want them to be just yet. I've still got it on heat 7 on my electric hob, so quite a medium to high heat. Giving it all a big stir, popping the lid back on. I'm going to give it 5 more minutes. I can't wait any longer, honestly. Let's have a look. Near enough. Again, the smell, the fragrance coming from this. Please try it. I can't explain just how mouth-watering it is. So flavourful, so spicy, really warm flavours in here. Absolutely mouth-watering. I'm giving it a stir now and I'm thinking, do you know what? Can I be bothered waiting any longer? Does it need it? No, it does not. So in goes the soya mince, finally. And again, I'm trying to do it here one-handed, although I am getting slightly better as my videos go on at managing one-handed. And there's the peas, no squeeze this time, straight in, and I'm going to give that a stir. Did I just call them peas? How rude. They're petit pois, no less. Petit pois. There we go. Give them a stir. Lid back on, 10 more minutes, and at this point I cannot explain just how ready for this meal I really was. Doesn't that look beautiful? Such a reddish brownish colour, that green pop coming through from the freshness of le petit pois just makes it. And ta-da! Finally, this beautiful take, speedy twist on a Keema Matar is ready. I would say in total, I probably had it on the hob for around 45 to 50 minutes. Because I'm batch cooking, and I got 6 portions out of this, FYI. Because I'm batch cooking, I like to take the time and let those flavours really come into their own, and they really, really did. Wowzers. I really, really want you to try this. If you like warm, spicy, flavourful food, this is for you. And obviously you can adjust the spices to however you want them. What I'm doing now is playing a quick game of Find the Cinnamon Stick. And there we go. I'm so glad I remembered. And then at this point, I kicked myself because guess what I didn't remember to do? Put the flipping washing on. So I could have talked all the way through this when I was filming. But there we go. At least the meal's ready. I'm just adding on top of it now some roughly chopped coriander. Again, it just gives it that burst of freshness and really adds to the flavour. Try not to skip it if you can add some coriander. At this point I'm thinking, do I want cauliflower rice, which I do genuinely love the taste of, or do I want to have my Syns VT pilau rice? And you know what? I couldn't find any. Must have run out, so I'll add it to my next Morrison's order. I did in the back of the cupboard manage to find the Morrison's own brand microwavable pilau rice, and this is just 2 Syns for the whole pouch. Here it is plated up. It was so delicious. I really hope you make it. As I say, adjust it to your own flavourings, add your own whatevers. Let me know. Bye bye.